Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off talking about CTGP7, which stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, or Custom Tracks Grand Prix 7 depending on how you want to interpret that. Anyways, here at a high level, CTGP7 is a mod pack for Mario Kart 7. It adds new things to the game, such as custom tracks and characters, extra features, and more. And we've talked about this one in a few videos. So Pablo MK7, who's the manager of CTGP7, says in the recent months, someone has been making Mario Kart 7 unplayable online by crashing anyone that tries to join with a bot. This denial of service attack comes from a Japanese user. So as a PSA here, if you're playing Mario Kart 7 online and you see this issue, send an email to abuse@ocn.ad.jp and hopefully this will stop. It's worth pointing out that if you're a casual player, you may never see this issue. Pablo MK7 says the hacker/bot targets high VR players. Next up, we're quickly talking about E3, and the writing for E3 has kind of been on the wall for a while now. Today, E3 tweeted out, after more than 2 decades of E3, each one bigger than the last, the time has come to say goodbye. Thanks for the memories, good game well played. So although E3 is dead and gone, the memories of it remain. I remember how excited I was when I first saw the Twilight Princess trailer, although I probably wasn't as excited as the people who were there in the audience. If you've got fond memories of E3 or even bad memories of E3, let me know in the comments below. Next up here, we're talking about an interesting festive game. It's called Birdos Holiday Brawl. It's a Super Mario Bros. 2 inspired game. You fight through waves of enemies that pop out of jars. If you are curious about this one, I'll drop a link to it in the description below and feel free to check it out. It appears to be free. Next up here, we're quickly talking about PS2 emulation with PCSX2. And today I was very happy to see Overclock 3D report on the fact that PCSX2 can play over 99% of PS2 games. So if you head on over to the PCSX2 website and check out the Compatibility tab, we can see that 1.23% of games are listed as perfect, and 97.92% of games are listed as playable. Combine both of those numbers together and we've got 99.15% of games listed as playable or perfect. And on top of that, games that don't do anything or games that only get to the intro are listed as 0%, which is quite an achievement. And I think we talked about this one a while back. Anyways, here for menus, we've got 0.22% of games, and in-game only is 0.63%. If you wanted to check out the compatibility tracker on your own, I highly recommend doing so, and I'll drop a link to it in the description below. We can see here in terms of games that aren't working quite right, we've got Final Fantasy XI, we've got Marvel Nemesis, Karaoke Revolution, Stolen, Stuntman, and a few more. I was a big fan of Stuntman. Now, if you wanted to learn more about an individual game, click on the right-hand side here under Wiki page. It'll bring you to a very informative page where it'll tell you exactly what's wrong with it, or in some cases, settings in order to make it work right. And speaking about stuff with a 2 in it, next up here we're talking about Spider-Man 2 developer Insomniac Games, and they've been hit with a ransomware attack. I'll drop a link to the article in the description below. At a high level here, Insomniac's data has been stolen. It's being held ransom for about $2 million and they have 7 days to pay it. If they don't pay it, it'll be sold to the highest bidder. Included in this data is some personal information, including employee passports, and also information about an unreleased Wolverine game. And speaking about unreleased stuff, next up here we're talking about the PS5 Pro. The PS5 Slim was just released, but it appears that a PS5 Pro is just around the corner in 2024. And Tom Henderson says he can't comment on other people's leaks because he doesn't know. Internally, Sony is expecting full specs to leak this month because of dev kit distribution to third-party studios. I am really curious to see how these specs for the PS5 Pro dev kits are going to stack up against the normal PS5. And it doesn't appear that we're going to have to wait very long if these dev kits have already shipped out. And speaking about PlayStation, next up here we're talking about Tekken 8. And as of December 14th, there's going to be a Tekken 8 demo available on PlayStation. If you're not on PlayStation, as far as I know here, the demo for Tekken 8 is going to be available on PC and Xbox on December 21st, so just about a week later. Moving on, and this one was surprising. Next up here, we're talking about Epic versus Google. And Epic beat Google in court. So this court case applies to Android and the Google Play Store. At a high level here, the jury found that Google willfully acquired or maintained monopoly power by engaging in anti-competitive conduct. Google entered into agreements that unreasonably restrained trade. Google unlawfully tied the use of the Google Play Store to the use of Google Play billing. And Epic was damaged as a result of Google's violations of antitrust laws. Unfortunately, at this time, we don't know the exact result the verdict is going to have on the Google Play Store, but we will know pretty soon. And it appears that Epic is going after Apple next. Next up here, we're quickly talking about Doom, and if you're a fan of Doom, you may be happy to know that there's some brand new levels that have just been released for free. This is all thanks to Doom's 30th birthday, and John Romero decided to release Sigil II for free. I'll drop a link to John Romero's website in the description below, and you can find the downloads here for Sigil II and also Sigil. And they're a whopping 3.1 megabytes and 2 megabytes, so you probably have space for them. Moving on, and we're quickly talking about a game you may not have realized just released on mobile. It's Little Nightmares. Unfortunately, the game is not free, but I'm sharing it for two reasons. One, I think people may be genuinely interested in the game, and number two, it's currently on sale. And last up here, I don't have a OnePlus to verify this, but it appears that OnePlus devices now support 32-bit software apps, even if they've got a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. I'm not going to lie here, if this is true, I am very curious to see how these 32-bit apps are going to function on the OnePlus 12. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.